computer, dual mic situation, but should be right.
What a way to start. Welcome. Sportscast Safari Podcast.
On a Thursday.
It's always on a Thursday. We're creatures of habit. Well, way to start. Myself, co-editor Andrew Coles, co-editor Luke Jackser, back in Australia. I'm in Cambridge in the UK, and at Boys Own Garage, Zander joining us tonight. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Zander was lucky I didn't beat him up when he came and nick his jacket.
What's that, a Marlboro
time?
You can try.
Marlboro F1.
Something like that. Yeah, just...
Yeah. Look at that. Beautiful. It looks actually pretty warm too.
It is. It's pretty toasty. Yeah. Not that Marlboro men need to keep warm.
Do you ever wonder that, obviously for us as motorsport nerds, that jacket means so much to us, but do you ever wear that just down the street and you think there's all these people just sort of looking at you going like, why is that dude just wearing cigarette merch?
I only wear it in northern and southern suburbs if I want to fit in. Otherwise, it's motorsport events only.
Yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it?
It is.
It's kind of how I feel when I'm wearing my Grand Prix Originals jacket. My leather one. It's kind of it's kind of become uncool.
Like, yeah, it'll get to the point in probably 5 years where you'll wear it and people will just look at you like, what is that?
Well, so I bought it when I was in Sydney and it was cool. Like everyone...
It definitely was cool.
Yeah, we're talking 07, I think. Even earlier, actually. What did I get that for? I think I got that for my 20... I think I bought it with 21st birthday money or something.
That's about 20 years ago now.
Back when Andrew had a full head of hair.
Oh, calm down. Calm down.
Andrew.
Look at this. It's beautiful. No, I don't need to prove anything. I don't need to prove anything. Look at that. Full head of hair. I don't need to prove anything to you guys. Nothing.
So what's been happening in your neck of the woods, Andrew? I feel like we haven't chatted much actually since last week just because we've been so busy.
We haven't. It's been a it's this bizarre. The UK is quite bizarre at the moment. You've got on the one hand life kind of getting back to normal after COVID and events are happening and people are getting out and about, but then the flip side is you've got the cases taking off and everyone's sort of, I think it's this weird thing where everyone's fully expecting some sort of lockdown or something to some sort of restriction to return, but it's sort of, no, it's not like that at the moment. We've had some good events. We're in the middle of peak Concours season, which is good. So we had London Concours a couple of weeks ago. We had Concours of Elegance at Hampton Court Palace 2 weeks ago. And then next Wednesday, we're at Salon Privé at Blenheim Palace for another Concours. So I'm not really much of a Concours guy. Like I'm more of a driving and a racing guy, but I don't know. It's kind of fun. You get dressed up and go and drink some champagne and look at some cars. It's fun. It's good.
I really don't think people in Australia probably appreciate the level of a proper concours, like what the event you went to in London, and I went to Amelia Island, and it's just if you compare it to Motor Classica, where people think, oh, that's pretty good. I'll wear a chino and I'll make sure I got my top button done up. It's like comparing a Cars and Coffee to... I
actually think I wore a T-shirt to Motor Classica last time I went.
Yeah.
You're that guy.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. It's probably something you should touch on a bit is, the efforts that people go to and how hard it is just for the general public to even maybe get into some of those, I think.
Oh, look, it's really weird. So Hampton Court Palace, the Concours of Elegance, it was simultaneously the most exclusive 1%er event you could ever imagine, but at the same time it was actually very very democratic and very open because anyone can buy a ticket. Like, it's not exclusive to buy a ticket. Anyone can buy a ticket.
What is it?
£35.
Okay.
So it's at $60. So it's not cheap, but it's not unobtainable. You've kind of got to know what it is to go. It's not marketed as a sort of a wide event, so you've kind of got to know what it is. but yeah, like you're in, it's Henry VI or Henry VIII, one of the Henrys palace that he built at the time, the same time as the Palace of Versailles in France. He built it as kind of a response to prove his lordship. And
bigger.
Yeah, basically, and it's just the most incredible place, like the gardens and just the beautiful.
How many wives can fit in your palace?
literally. I think he was the one that No, see, he took it to a new level. He started a whole new religion because he wanted to get divorced.
Correct.
So yeah, in terms of dedication to your next wife, I think that's is probably ranking high up there. But anyway, so point being, you've got the most incredible cars in the world. Like, it was the most incredible collection of cars I think I've almost ever seen. It was, the 1970 Le Mans winning 917K, the orange, the Porsche one. You had these beautiful Bugattis. You had, there was at the front, there was a 250 GTO, a genuine GT40. There was a 250 LM, and a lot of cool stuff. Obviously, they had the debut of the Aston Martin Victor, which was just incredible.
That thing looked ridiculous.
Oh, this is another rant that we can get into. Most of those one-offs, I think, are just full of wank. I think they're just indulgences, and they're kind of ugly, and they're kind of all this. But the Victor, yeah, you see that, and I was like, that's cool. But
rewind to the 30s where all the coach builders would get a Bugatti chassis or something like that, and they were one-offs as well. I'd be curious if people thought they were wanky or opulent for what they were, and now people look at them and they're in the Ralph Lauren collection, and people are like, oh my god, that's just stunning. I wonder if the Victor will be like that in 70 years time.
Well, we need a new supercar with ostrich leather, I think.
That'd be whale foreskin.
Russian thing like that.
Plays at Brabham, maybe, just tick an option box.
Yeah. But if we're getting into more rants here, but like my criticism, I think, of a lot of these one-offs is that they're quite, you can tell the car they're based on. A lot of the ones that Pininfarina have done for Ferrari, they've taken a 458 or a 488 or whatever they have, and they, for whatever reasons, cost, and I assume that I know there's a lot of very valid reasons why you do this. So I'm not saying it's, I wouldn't do the same, but you can see the hard points of the base car. Like, you can see the A-pillar, the shape of the windscreen. You can see that, and you can see that it's just a different kind of front and rear end, and it's a bit. But the Victor, because it's based on, the 177, which is a very limited production hypercar in its own right, and it's based on a prototype chassis that never made it to production anyway. It is sufficiently different enough that it doesn't look like anything Aston Martin make. It's properly unique, which I think is amazing. But
do you think that's maybe a result of the breadth of crazy supercars that are out there at the moment being manufactured? That, like, when we're getting less and less of these people with money building one-offs, they're just buying, off the shelf optioned. I've got my, tick my Porsche RS option thing that's like, I've got red piping and no one else has got it type of thing, rather than actually going to a coach builder?
Probably. The leather vents, Porsche exclusive. Saw that the other day. I was like, that's just what? Yeah.
The whole PTS movement. Are we on our rants? No. We're going to step
You
back.
can rant about PTS if you want.
I'm like 3 rants deep now. I started.
But hang on, you started getting onto the options of your Boxster, so you can't talk too much about it.
Fair point.
No, I can.
Okay.
I think PTS is cool. Don't get me wrong. And I think a lot of the PTS cars are very cool. And if I was in the lucky position to be purchasing one of those cars, I would love to go down the PTS route. Like, don't get me wrong. I think they're very cool and they're very valid. And I think it's very good that people get excited about it. But I think it stops at the point that you've got yourself a nice car and you're like, cool, let's go drive it now. Let's take it to the track and let's use it as an actual car. But when people get so hung up about it being the one of one in XYZ with XYZ trim and sort of treat it like it's this sort of custom built one-off untouchable car, when it's like, no, it's 911. It's a pretty common car. GT3s are pretty common. They're awesome. They're freaking awesome, but they're pretty common. And yours has particular leather on the vents. Great.
And just,
fantastic.
And
let's go drive it.
It's a one-off one. Doesn't mean there should be 2 of them either.
But you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's not that special. Even though there might only be one in that color, it's still, you know, now there are so many unique cars that, you know, Busby's just counted paint to sample. So it's Porsche's paint to sample program is PTS. So you can basically, I mean, paint to sample to me implies that you can take them a swatch of anything and they'll paint it.
Correct, you can.
Actually, but isn't there a list of approved colors and you have to pick from?
Money talks. I'm pretty sure there's some that have been done in BMW colors. And I'm pretty sure BMW also do paint to sample for certain customers on certain cars as well.
Mm-hmm. Very cool, but
I kind of get the same feeling when you watch, like, you know, some of the American YouTubers and stuff like that, some of those shows, and they're carrying on about the rarity of this American muscle car that only had like 12,000 built or something. You know?
Yeah.
Not that special.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Speaking of the Concorde cars, can we talk about your American car?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
let's do that.
We can talk about my American car.
Which is?
So it's the car that's unsafe at any speed, according to Ralph Nader. It's a 1963 Chevy Corvair rampside pickup. So if you basically imagine a combi but sort of fornicated with a Porsche and then its sister cousin front porch couch, you've sort of got it in one.
So that's quite funny. So Ralph Nader made that, you know, unsafe at any speed about the Corvair coupe, but your car basically has all of the allegedly unsafe bits about that car, but it moves the occupants ahead of the front wheels. So if you hit anything, you're going to feel like you are the crumple zone.
The accident.
Yeah,
literally.
First at the scene.
And I'll bring up a picture of it.
So it was one of those random things where a good friend of mine, Jake, said, "Dude, you should get one of these. You like weird things that are air cooled, and you need a new ute." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, that'd be cool. We never got any Australia, so that will never happen." And as a bit of a joke, I put on Instagram, "Hey, if someone has got one, hit me up." And Ron Goodman, the famous Porsche guy from Sydney with his 356 Outlaws, is like, "Yeah, Zander, I've got one."
Was that the point when you're like, shit?
Yeah. And I'm like, that'd be too dear. And he told me a price and I went, "Oh, actually, that's not too dear." So, it's here sitting in my mate's workshop, awaiting a little bit of shed time, lease time, before I go to Regency and go, "Hey, remember me?"
Start that process again.
Yeah, I got to give him suit and some Vaseline this time, so we'll be fine.
Well, you just hope that the process this time will be a little bit easier, a little bit nicer.
Yeah, you hope so. Get through. We'll see. Yeah.
At least it's not a converted car.
No, correct. It'll
be left-hand drive.
Get it. Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, that little ramp on the side is going to be awesome. Just, you know, wheeling the go-kart in. Yeah. Maybe a coffee machine for cars and coffee. SCS merch. Just wheel it out. Yeah.
Would be cool.
I start a lawnmower around so I can pay for it. I don't know.
That'd look good with gyms on the side, actually.
Yeah.
We could do. I feel like we should go to like a rally stage or even just a Beta Birdwood and just set up there with a barbecue and some drinks or something in the back. That'd be delightful. Just sit up there watching the world go by.
Well, I did joke about you could probably put a hot tub in there and route the piping above through the exhaust system, and you could run water up that way.
That's actually
not a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah.
You could, I mean, on a more realistic, you could make it like a pie warmer or something. Have a pie warmer in there and wrap it through.
Pizza oven.
Yeah, that wouldn't taste
oven?
at all. It's really weird. Like the you almost got like a lounge seat at the back there where the engine is. Like it's quite.
Does the back open too, or is it just
the back opens as well?
Delightful.
Yeah. So it'd be fun going to Bunnings in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like see that you got like
that's the ramp side.
That's the ramp side. Then you've got this like section where the engine is.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Because that's exactly what you want in a ute is the engine in the cargo area, and then and then that section up there is the
tailgate.
The tailgate.
Yep. So you can go to tailgate parties.
You're right. You could build the ultimate lounge in there. You could make that a full. I've been sort of obsessed with Poolside FM this week. They've launched their Mac, their iOS app, and
Yeah,
that's
cool.
like something like Poolside FM style, where you build, I don't know, like a big curved lounge suite up there, and that's your VIP lounge, and then down the bottom you've got your drinks fridge and man.
And some inflatable palm trees or something.
Yeah.
Flamingo.
Oh,
You can almost get away with that at your house, actually.
I've got one.
you could actually.
Like inflatable kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe. There is one.
Or like an actual
Yeah, I've
flamingo.
seen that.
Yeah. Oh, this is good.
Well, yeah, that'll be a cool car. That's kind of like a really good cars and coffee car.
It is pretty good.
Because it's not a Volkswagen with DSG that makes silly noises as you leave.
Hot bangs. No.
Bang.
The funny thing is, though, the whole idea was to get something that I can take the boys in. So
That's got a bench at the front, doesn't it?
it does.
Yeah,
It's got no belts. So I don't know. Part of me's thinking dual cab tray back.
I was actually speaking
Now
about.
they're going to get crushed anyway, so you don't need belts.
Yeah,
Seatbelts aren't going to save you in that thing.
No.
we don't like men.
Yeah, I like men. I was speaking about this with someone the other day about how I knew Ben Fitzsimmons and explained that, Dad taught at a school and Ben was at that school and we went on a basketball trip to Melbourne. And I sat, you remember those Toyota Hino school buses that were like the front engine, you had the two seats, driver, passenger, the engine was in the middle. And then, I forgot how many seats they were. They were like
21 seaters, I think.
21, I think, yeah. I sat on the engine the entire way to Melbourne on that trip. So there's your child safety right there.
Yeah.
But that was the best. That was the best fun, sitting up there with no seatbelt and
Yeah.
nice and warm on the engine, and that was great.
How we didn't lose our teeth on the school bus runs is just
those metal handrails. Yeah.
And my school bus driver was our maths teacher, and he was brakes. What do I use them for?
Because maths teachers make great bus drivers,
Maybe
they do.
He was
Maybe they do.
He's a funny guy.
But,
Le Mans this weekend.
Yeah, just had a look at the entry list this morning. Actually, it looks really interesting. There's not much of an LMP1 battle, five cars, but LMP2 is pretty much a one make series of Oricas type things.
But I mean, does that say something about endurance racing now? Like, did LMP1
too expensive?
Yeah, LMP1's is crazy.
Too expensive.
Do we need to bring back that McLaren F1 era of?
That was 25 years ago. 25 years that they won, and I don't know. I think it's in a bit of a weird place. I mean, as much as I love the 919 hybrid and the Toyota's TS050 or whatever it was,
Delta Wing.
It just the technology is just. I mean, they're incredible, but just too expensive.
And given the current economic climate and stuff, it might be hard going forward. Where's the entry list? I haven't actually looked at the entry list yet.
Probably go to class.
I, to be honest, found it on Motorsport magazine, but but there's a really cool GT battle shaping up. Actually, you've got factory teams from Porsche, Ferrari, and Corvette in GT Pro, and then obviously GTM. There's some really cool, AF Corsa and whatnot in. There's a couple of Aussies on the field too, which is good. I think it's going to be exciting. So
yeah, big GT field.
Yeah.
Quite a big LMP2 field actually as well.
It's interesting. Like you do need to have that speed of like the LMP2, something that's got that much grip and the speed they're carrying through the corner. Otherwise, we're almost diluting the quality of the drivers that are out there, because Formula One is limited by budget and field size.
And tires.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Imagine if there was like an F1 and F2 category, or they just race together.
Oh, like Formula 3 in Australia.
Or Formula.
Where they do like an F1 race, but it's F1, F2, kind of mixing it together. That'd be cool. Can you imagine that? Imagine how annoying Grosjean would be. Get out of the way.
Imagine how many people are running to each other or standing restart. Yeah.
I'm sure the F2s would be all right with that.
Mate.
Did you see that from the FIA coming back, saying to everyone that was complaining, like, well, the other categories did it okay. You guys are the elite. Why didn't you do it? Like,
that was like a dash cams Australia quality hit, though. It was like the person changes into the right-hand lane because he gets cut off by the car coming out of the right-hand lane and slams it to the back of a stationary car.
I just love that on board. Who was in the Alfa Romeo, the one where it just goes spearing off into space, just boom, you just see it. Giovinazzi carrying a solid, like 100 mile an hour more than anyone else. Just exit stage up. Yeah, amazing. Oh,
pretty crazy.
So good.
It was a good race.
More of it.
Like,
exciting.
Yeah, it was. I didn't think they needed to red flag as much as they did. I thought they could have just left him out for a little bit longer, like 10 minutes out behind safety car.
And I think they've got to look at that red flag rule of switching the tyres. Like, it's there for people who lose a wing because someone hits them or, they pick up a puncher as part of it. Not, let's just have our second pit stop and switch out, do a mandatory tyre change. That's not on.
Yeah.
That's my point anyway.
Yeah. I've just felt sorry for like Ricardo and Williams and stuff that they were in good positions to finish well, and then after the restart just kind of got run over.
But that crash of Strolls was scary. That's like people getting hurt type stuff. I was like, raw. But actually, the funny thing I found, but the funny thing, when you're watching the poor marshal who's trying to put the fire out, and the thing catches, it's like turned into an actual bin fire. It catches on. They're trying to lift it up, and then it's flaming, and the guy's chucking the fire extinguisher on the way. I think, I don't know if this is the same. So this is pure just observation. But when I went to the Italian Grand Prix in 2013, I watched a bunch of the marshals sit there having their lunch before the race with their wine, and they had their big tables behind their bunkers, and they had the picnics, and they had the wine, and they're all, it's Italy, it's Italian Grand Prix. So as I was watching them try to recover Stroll's car, I'm just sitting there thinking, they've probably been drinking wine since 11 a.m.
Filled up on cheese, bread, and wine. Maybe. Actually, there's a really funny meme that came out with, like, did you see it? Where it was like the guy trying to pull back the bodywork to put out the fire, and there was like someone had photoshopped the Mercedes bodywork underneath. You're still going with it. That's the gift I'm giving you.
Is Andrew going to get onto Wish and order a Lewis Hamilton replica race suit for the Vespa?
What?
Nah.
What was that outfit?
What do you mean? Which one?
The one that Lewis Hamilton was wearing on the scooter.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the one where they were comparing like new drivers to old drivers thing?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's like 1950s curtains.
He actually looked like, for those of you that follow on Instagram, he actually looked like Troy Candy on Instagram. It's legit Troy Candy.
needs more VN burnout.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. So Zander, I want to get a question for you.
Shoot.
My morning's musing. You famously said there's no such thing as a cheap Porsche, and I think 2,500 miles later, we're proving that wrong. Let's double down.
How long have you had?
Is there no such thing as a cheap Porsche track car?
Oh, I don't think there's anything as a cheap Porsche track. There's no such thing as a cheap track car. I think
in the scope of track cars, though.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, you're only one small breakdown away from financial ruin, as I am with mine as well, I guess. But
yeah.
Hey, look, if that thing lasts, let's give you 12 months without having a 4-digit repair bill on something. What can we set as a wager? What's a fair wager?
12 months without a 4-digit repair bill.
Yep.
Okay.
What's a good
wager?
wager?
Actually repairing stuff, not just not repairing stuff to avoid the bet, but
no, driving. Like if it's driving in 12 months' time and I haven't spent more than $1,000 on any single component.
Yep.
Pounds.
Yep.
Pounds?
Yeah, pounds.
Pounds.
What's a good wager?
The Queen's money.
And it has to be legit. Like, you can't get a mate just give you a motor for free to avoid a bet.
Yeah.
Trade you 6 months worth of labor in exchange for an engine, but I didn't pay for it.
Yeah. None of those shenanigans.
We'll play fair. We'll play fair. Yep.
I'll give you.
I have to think about the wager. But yeah, no, I've been impressed so far. But
so here's my question. 10 years ago, I used to do like 8-9 track days a year.
Yes, you did.
And obviously, coming over here, life changes. It's actually just becomes quite hard. It's quite expensive, so haven't done one for a year. Now that I've had the Boxster, I've been driving it a little bit, and there's been a couple of corners where I've started to get into it, and I've started the bugs in, and I've had a couple of drives where I got the thing moving around on its wheels, and it's so balanced. I'm like, I need to go and do a track. I need to get back into tracking stuff. So I was doing some research this morning, and the question is, flip the Boxster, sell it, get like an NAMX5, which are cheap over here, like $1,000, 1,500 quid, and then put $2,000 or $3,000 worth of roll bar, seat, suspension, brakes, tires, and turn it into like a pretty solid, reliable track day car. But the caveat is that you kind of can't use it. You got me?
Oh, we lost you right when you started going into what you were going to do with an MX-5, and Zander and I both made a comment that was the internet telling you that was stupid.
But think about it, like that kind of money, seats, suspension, basic track day stuff in an MX-5, harnesses, you can build a pretty cool track day car.
And but it's slower than a Boxster.
Yes, it's slower than a Boxster. But the big thing for me is it's not usable on 362 days of the year when you're not at the track. It's kind of not the most usable thing.
Yep.
So then I started doing some research this morning, and it turns out with Boxster, people think you like the GT3 brake scoop upgrade, which is like 100 quid. You can do that. Basically, just a good service through the thing.
GT3 what?
Was the brake vents, the brake scoops. So the ducting through the front.
Yeah.
What they have for the GT3 basically all just bolts in. You unbolt the Boxster stuff. It's all bigger and chunkier and gets more air into the brakes. So it's basically the usual track day prep of decent brake pads, decent fluid, those brake vents, some half okay tires, and go for gold. And there's a bunch of people doing it, and it actually looks kind of fun. And then you've still got a car that's really usable on all of the days when you're not at the track. And yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you do it like this, right? You're never going to go out there and win. So
no, I don't care about that. I just want to drive.
Miles, yeah.
I want to drive each track.
Leave it as stock as you can with just your basic, track day upgrades of maybe a different set of pads for the track. You're probably going to need another set of wheels and tires, and just leave it like that. Just bear in mind,
go road tires, man. Road tires.
But just bear in mind, you break a box in an MX-5, it's probably 200 quid.
Yeah.
Change it out the front on the gutter. Where you do it in a Boxster, it's probably buy a new Boxster.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm eager. And in fact, actually,
in Andrew's defense, he is very mechanically sympathetic on cars.
That is true. That is
so,
true.
If anyone's going to make a really old Boxster last on a track, it'll be Andrew.
Yeah.
Especially the gearbox.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm pretty gentle. And as I said, I'm not out there to set lap records. And I'm not out there. I'm just out there to drive each track. We're only going to be here a couple of years, and I want to drive it and go, hey, yeah, I've done Snedden, I've done Brands Hatch. I've just done it. That's all I'm interested in. I don't want to go and set a lap record. So
I guess
do
7,
8 tenths, and yeah.
And if you've got 20 tracks you want to do and you get through all 20, awesome. If you've got 20 to do it, you do 2 of them, and you be prepared to lose everything other than what you can salvage from a blown up or broken car, then so be it. You're only going to get the opportunity once to do it.
So I think I'm at.
Yeah.
So I think I'm at. I want to go do the Nurburgring. I want to drive over and do the Nurburgring. Too spa.
Yeah. Can you put a wave wheel ring sticker on there before you do that?
Yes. Yes, I can. I have one.
You got one with you?
No.
Or do I need to post you one?
Do you have one?
Could make
I have one.
Because the one that Jai Raymond gave me, which is the last one in existence, I stuck to my Fiat before I left last time. It's on the inside of the boot. You have one.
Unopened.
But yeah, if you go to Europe and don't drive the Nurburgring, it's right up there, about 4 ahead of going to the Eiffel Tower. So
Yeah.
Do
So
it.
anyway, just curious. That's where I'm at.
Yep.
Could turn into a you know, I don't know.
Xander's encouraging this to win the bet.
No. I think one of my biggest regrets when I lived in Europe for almost 6 months was not buying something like an E30 and just drive more. Yeah.
Zander's like, yeah, mate, go and do a drag at Santa Pod. They've got the VH, you know, put some good drag slicks on it, get lots of traction off the line. Like, do it.
Clutch will be fun.
Just don't encourage me to do anything in mine.
Yeah.
See, the difference is, where we are different is that whilst I would hate to walk away from mine, I could do it. You can't. Yours is too nice.
Yeah.
Not even financially, emotionally. Like that's just too, you know, it's a beautiful thing.
I still wake up in the middle of the night, especially recently, with the idea of the that Speed Yellow GT3 996.1, because the car's still available and the guy just says random things like, yeah, I did sidling in it the other day. It's pretty good.
He's chipping you down. He knows.
Yeah. So yeah, if anyone needs a kidney or a liver or I don't know, something I can sell, hit me up. I'll trade it for a GT3.
You've had two
Could you
kids, don't
register
need
it?
nuts anymore, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's a point. One nut.
Worked for Lance Armstrong. Anyway, sorry.
Could I register it?
Yeah. What's it, left-hand drive?
Defined registration. Yeah, I could do rally reg, I guess, and when it's 30 years old, you know, send it to New Zealand, re-import it, and register it then, which is only another 10 years away. If
you know, the thing with rally reg, and I know we've got a lot of rally people watching this and fans, and this is the case, you have to be using the car for rally stuff. You can't dodge it. But the flip side is with Adelaide Rally now and with all of the, you know, the options there, and you've got the Gorge Rally Sprint, which we can touch on, you actually probably would want to use it for rallying anyway. So you probably would want to actually do that with it. So it's maybe not so dumb.
Yeah, like if I had that car, I'd do Gorge Rally Sprint in it. I'd probably do one track day a year or two, couple of Colin Groves, and that'd sort of be it. Because I actually look back at my logbook. So in the 13 months I've had my car on the road, I've driven it 13 times for 1,400 Ks.
We can help you with that if you like.
Yeah. There is a
case. 40 of those Ks are yours, I think.
Yeah, there were.
And 20 litres of fuel's Luke's.
Yeah. Everywhere.
That's all.
Mate,
I have bad luck with old 911s, but
and fuel. Which is awesome because they don't ignite often.
Maybe that's from my sister had a Beetle back in the day, and it was a Sportronic one, and that decided to self-ignite in the driveway. So maybe it's just a Jack's a curse that, you know.
I think it's just you, dude. You're 33 too.
Oh yeah.
I've never had.
I've always been a bit of a pyro, like always lighting candles on the table with serviettes and all that kind of stuff.
That's like 4 fuel-related issues you've been involved in.
And they're getting progressively dearer.
Yeah.
So if anyone's got an F40 or something they want me to come and sit in and blow up for you, let me know.
Anyone that's gone upside down in their finance and needs to make a bloody leased card disappear. Luke's your man.
Just give it to me. It'll be ignited before you know it. Just self-combust.
I mean, interestingly, Zach's Pizza Bar is only just down the road, isn't it? And that's only burnt down 3 times in the last 12 months.
Actually, they got sold, that place.
Yeah.
Like we tried to order pizza from there the other day, and they were like, you know, we couldn't get them on the phone. App's disconnected. Go on the website.
Yeah, they had a fire sale in August.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. That's what I'm serious. Yeah.
Luke feels terrible about the angry email he sent him now.
Yeah.
Burnt them, lit them on fire.
Yeah.
Or blowtorch out.
So actually, I was just going to say, you feeling bad about things like that. There's a good follow on Instagram. Look Good for Less. A lot of people follow it. I'll explain if anyone's interested. But anyway, she had a thing about like, what's your most awkward moment at work? You know, one of those question things. And someone responded with, I accidentally fired a dead person for not turning up to work. It turns out someone had died and they kept on sending letters like, if I had, it's like, okay.
I mean, we've all had moments like that, I guess, just maybe not quite that bad.
Never that bad.
Never that bad.
Anyway.
Nope.
So yeah.
That's bad.
Speaking of F40s and race cars driven on the road and all that kind of stuff, concourse, DK Engineering,
biggest flex. Literally biggest flex I think I've seen. The biggest power move I've seen in a long time, which the DK Engineering guys routinely do. So, you know, not surprised. But yeah, we're in the grounds of Hampton. So, okay. Trying to set the scene.
Set the scene.
Set the scene. No, because I'm just thinking if you don't know the layout, it's going to be a bit confusing. Hampton Court Palace, you have the main kind of road out the front. And then when you enter the concourse, you walk in through, I think, what was the back entrance of the palace. And then you actually walk through the palace. So you walk through, and it's a good 10-minute walk, sort of, you know, through the various courtyards and through, and then you end up at the sort of the front of the palace. You pop out, and then there's the gardens immediately in front of the palace, which is where the concourse is. Yeah, so you've got it there, Hampton Court. Yep. You've got the Great Fountain Garden. There you go. So that's where the concourse is, and that's where the cars are parked. So you enter through
in this section here
to the right.
To the right, where the Great Fountain Garden is. So that's where the concourse is. And then you've got a river that runs around, or a channel, probably, drainage channel, that runs sort of around. A moat.
Dragon.
That runs around. And then behind that, you have and interestingly enough, there must have been a festival on or something when that Google Maps was taken.
Oh.
Because
there.
all of that is
oh, wow.
There's buildings and that there. None of that's there. That's all temporary structure.
Big marquee.
Yeah, it's big marquee. Interesting. Anyway, so that's just parklands. Now, how you actually get into that parklands, I don't know, because you're standing at the back gates of the palace, and it's just, you know, miles and miles of just grassland and trees and, you know, park. And George Cheatham, my friend and I, George, he was on the podcast a few weeks ago. We were sort of walking through, looking at the cars in the concourse, all cool. And at the corner of our eye, through the gate, there's this red thing, like way off in the distance, outside in that park. And we're like, is that an F40? We're like, okay. So we kind of walk over, go through the back gate, leave the event. And sure enough, the guys from DK Engineering have popped in to see some of their cars in the concourse and have somehow got into the park, driven this F40 cross country, like across the grassland for like,
no one will stop you.
No. But like, literally, like, it's like a mile of grass. It's not like you can't even see the road. It's like a mile of just sort of bush bashing across. Driven it to within about 100 meters of the back gate to the palace, and have just left it there, parked it up, locked it up, and just walked in. And yeah, there's this, and it's actually a really interesting car. I did some research into it. So it's in a kind of a race livery, and it raced in the 92 and the 93 Italian GT Championship, and it was bought by this Bucci, I can't remember the name. But a guy, basically a wealthy Italian businessman who basically bought this F40 new. He raced it in the GT Championship in 92, 93, and he drove it a shit ton on the road. And he put something like 80,000 kilometers on it in the first 10 years of owning it. Then he took it off the road. He had it converted to LM specifications. So had the race livery taken off, had all the LMs, and then he put another 10, 20,000 kilometers on it. So this F40, the sort of possibly the highest mileage F40 in the world, it's done about 110, 120,000 kilometers. And then, yeah, passed through a couple of owners since, and then DK acquired it a couple of years ago, and they returned it back to its Italian GT spec as it raced in 93, and they use it as a road car, as like a semi-daily driver. And yeah, they just had this thing parked at the back, and it was probably the coolest thing of the whole concourse. It wasn't even there. And then so we did the concourse, very cool. Driving home. Now, Cambridge is north of London, and Hampton Court Palace is in the south of London. And anyone who's been, London's a nightmare to cross. So you M25 ring motorway, and Google had routed me this back way kind of around the outskirts of Heathrow, which, by the way, was very weird because Heathrow is normally busy as hell, but there was just stacked airplanes,
Just not in
stacked
2020.
everywhere, and like, yeah, very weird. But the traffic was a nightmare. So as I'm stuck in traffic, I'm in this sort of one road that's parked, you know, stop traffic, and there's a road that's flowing a bit freer, you know, just off to my right. And I hear this sound, this, and yeah, sure enough, it's the F40 just in traffic, Sunday night traffic around Heathrow, just driving home. I'm like, that's very cool. So yeah.
So if you send a resume to DK, like, I will sweep the floors and pick up the lunch in the F40.
I would 100% go and sweep the floors there. Like, it's just, I mean,
You got
Luke
nothing.
Gilbertson
You'd have nothing to
works
sweep,
there.
though.
No, it's immaculate. I mean, post the photo. They're storing in their storage facility. I mean, he posted a photo that had 8 F40s, and I know that that's not even a lot of them. It's more like 20. It's insane. So anyway,
that's cool though that someone
True
put
story.
that many Ks on an F40. Like, that's it's good to see them used.
Yeah, it's good to see cars in general being used. I think that's just my thing. Like, yeah,
it's interesting because, you know, when I was looking at GT3s, I looked at one that had, I think it was like 105,000 Ks on it, and everyone's like, oh yeah, oh, that's a lot of Ks. I'm like, really?
Bet you it's delightful.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it means it's been used. It means stuff's been replaced on it. I guess, you know, you buy something that's got 5,000 Ks on it. It's bushes, rubbers, lines, plastics,
Fuel lines.
yeah, anything that's got
Totally.
And also with a car of that era too, like IMS bearing stuff. If there's one with high Ks and it's still going, it's probably going to keep going.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing
think
with Boxsters is they sort of reckon that if they've kind of topped 60, 70,000 miles, then you're probably pretty good.
Yeah, I think that seems to be the general consensus now from people, is that if it's got Ks, it's fine. Yeah.
So
Andrew starts it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. I see Dan's asked us a question. Old Saab 900. Yes, no.
No. 9,000? 9,000? Yes. And the 9,000s the 80s ones?
Come on, Dan. Are you still there? Tell us.
Because what strikes me about the 80s ones is they feel properly different. You know, the way the door opens and the curvature of the windscreen, and you sit a long way back with that, you know, it feels like a cockpit. I'd say unequivocally, yes.
I mean, I think the 900 was the sort of the part wedge, part curve, had the tri-spokes on it.
Then in that case, yes.
Posh School Principals owned them.
I'm thinking of the 9.3. Sorry.
Yeah, you're thinking of the
1,000. Yeah. But yeah, definitely.
Maybe. I don't know. I really
think
think Daniel needs more of it. Really thinks he's probably a Volvo guy deep down. He just hasn't come to realize it yet. What do you reckon? 242 GT. Come on, Dan.
Speaking of using 911s,
yeah,
are you doing Beta Birdwood?
No, I'm not. I would love to do Beta Birdwood, but after doing it last year and literally not getting out of first gear, it wasn't a nice car to do it in. Like, I wanted to wave to people and enjoy it, and it was very, very monotonous start and just not fun. Like, every other Beta Birdwood I've done has either been in the Fiat 500, which, you know, hits like 2 Ks an hour in third gear, so that's pretty good for that.
You're flat all the time.
Yeah, just send it. But yeah, and the other times I've done it were in the Merc. It's so, you know, basically sitting in a comfy armchair and just sort of flexing your ankle back and forwards just between brake and accelerator. So that's why part of the reason we bought the 201. So next year's 2 years time Beta Birdwood probably. Yeah.
You know, the best Beta Birdwood car would be Stu K that was on last week. His Merc, the 280 convertible.
Oh, the 3.5. Yes, definitely.
That is a car that if I had the chance of driving that in the Beta Birdwood or sitting in the back seat, I would 100% take the back seat.
Oh yeah, you don't drive. Yeah.
Oh,
you don't drive cars
top down.
You get driven in them. Yeah.
Yeah. Beer in hand, 9 in the morning. Waving and where you go. Oh,
Yeah, no, 100% agree.
Choice.
I think there would be nothing better in life than just sitting in the back seat of that car with probably G&T in one hand, Cuban in the other,
Yep.
Panama hat,
Yep.
just
Yep.
nodding as you go past.
Yeah.
So
Where
no,
is the Beta Birdwood?
Well, if Stewie needs some passengers.
yeah.
Yep.
You did say you were going to give me a bottle of wine, Stu. How about we switch that for a the Beta Birdwood Sunday week and no crowds, so they're actually live streaming it. So if anyone wants to,
No crowds.
No, and
How are they going to stop
along the
that?
route there'll be crowds, but no
Okay,
Birdwood crowd, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Well, Ash and Buzz were explaining it to me about. I think they get like half an hour there or something. You roll up, you get a allotted amount of time, and then you got to trip off again.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
At least the event's still happening. Well, that's pretty good.
Exactly.
It's a cool, that's one of the things I, as in my younger self, had zero interest in the Beta Birdwood because it didn't involve cars going sideways and spraying gravel behind them.
That's what Samuel says.
Now,
Samuel gets bored by like car stuff like that. He's so young. He's like, well, you're not racing. It's no fun.
Yeah, I was like that. I was like, what? They're just going to be stuck in traffic for 2 hours? But no, that's a great event. It gets press in the UK. Like it's a big deal. It usually gets some press in the UK about, I think it is the biggest organised drive in the world. Is it still?
Or at least in the Southern Hemisphere, at least, yeah. So it started in 1980, I believe.
Mm.
And it was in recognition of, something like 50 or 60 years since the first driver's license had been issued. Oh, no, sorry, 100 years maybe. Have a look.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it up. Anyway, but yeah, we'll just sit on the side of the route somewhere, probably Anzac Highway, and watch for a bit and give a wave. Watch my dad probably drive straight past and not notice his son and grandsons on the side of the road waving at him.
Yeah. That'll be good.
Yeah, so there's that. What we got, Bathurst is...
Oh, you go first run in 1980.
Yep, there you go.
Federation of Historic Motor Clubs, SAS Channel 10, and the National Motor Museum were invited to develop an event commemorating the issuing of the first South Australian driver's license in 1906.
Wow.
There you go.
To Dr. William A. Hargraves.
There you go. What number plate did he have in his car? Stu will know.
Probably one.
And where is it now?
Actually, no, would have had a 0 in front of it.
01.
01, yeah.
It is. It's a pretty big thing.
And it's funny because
you have 40 years this year.
Yeah, because you have a look at when you go through the entrance, the amount of interstate people that make a thing of it come over for it. So it'd be a bit sad this year, but a lot of people
this year
lost their traditional holiday.
And here we go. So we're excited to announce that the first ever live stream of the Beta Birdwood will commence at 8:30 a.m. Australian Central Standard Time on advertiser.com.au. Do you have to pay for that? I hope not.
Probably. First 5 seconds free.
5 seconds free. And then also on the Beta Birdwood Partners Facebook page and YouTube as well. So there you go. They're doing
done.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's have a Beta Birdwood party. I mean, she's not quite a Lamar party, but 8:30 in the morning Adelaide time. That's about 10, 11 o'clock at night our time.
There you go.
Great.
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
Sit up, watch them go past.
Yeah.
Sit down there with your beer.
Delightful.
Watch it happen. Actually, I wonder where they're going to shoot it from. That'll be the interesting thing.
I presume
they're just going to be like a web,
a
webcam.
Yeah, maybe. They might have a live cross to the start and then some webcams.
Well, I hope they have the commentators. That'd be good.
They could use the same people who did the pageant.
Could be.
You could do, if we got Crailsy involved and like some sort of comedy type person, you probably could do a very humorous commentary of the live stream. Might be mildly offensive to some people, but you probably could do a very humorous live stream commentary.
Here comes the Leyland 76 P76 from Snowtown.
So where are we doing, Zander?
Yeah.
Should we do it?
Only
Should we
we knew,
podcast?
if we only knew a live streaming platform that we could do this from.
I got nothing.
Should we do it? Do you reckon anyone will watch? Would anyone watch that? If anyone's watching this, tell us. Would you tune in to a Sportscar Safari live commentary of the Beta Bedford live stream?
If 5 people say yes, will Luke and I go and do it?
What date is it?
Sunday week.
Oh, no, I can't. Not that day.
You're washing at concrete.
No, I'm not. No, I'm.
He's washing his
I'm becoming a godfather.
The Godfather or a Godfather?
I'm
Don Corleone, aggressive.
my little niece is getting baptized, and I found out the other day that I'm going to be the godfather, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
And I think my sister was quite hesitant to tell me because straight away it was the first thing that you do. Welcome to the family. I need to get some
What
sort.
did I do to deserve?
So poor Charlotte she's going to get that for the rest of her life from me. But that's what you get.
That's good.
So we watched The Godfather. We rewatched it the other weekend because in the UK now, there's not heaps to do. All 9 hours of it over a weekend. There is an Alpha 6 in the third movie when they're on Sicily. An Alpha 6.
Yep, and it gets blown up.
It does.
Yep, it
but
does.
Still, Alpha 6. Well, no. The 1940s Alpha gets blown up. You know, the media type coach build in the first movie. But in the third movie, when they're on Sicily and they're going to visit and he's chauffeuring her around, there's some really obscure Italian cars. There's an Alpha 6 and there's a Lancia, one of those 80s Lancia limousines, like a Thema or something. Yeah. It's very cool. Brown.
I think the surprising bit was that they were running.
Yeah, definitely. But
actually,
but it's still fun.
Did you see the new Bond trailer?
I'm so excited for that movie.
Did you see there's a Maserati in there?
Oh really? Oh, the MC20? No, I haven't seen the trailer yet.
No, was it Time to Die? No Time to Die.
No Time to Die.
I bring up there's it properly gets destroyed. I think it's like a Ghibli or something.
Oh,
so while Luke's looking that up, what's your top 3 tracks you want to hit up in the UK?
YouTube ads are horrible. I'm sorry, I'm just watching. There's something about earwax coming up. What do I want to know about that?
to hint, take the hint.
Google doesn't even know. Can't even see my ears right now.
At least it's your search,
not
mine.
Top 3 tracks in the UK. I think that's a good question. I think Brands Hatch is up there just because it's just a really cool, the elevation change, and it's just tight and twisty.
Yep.
I'm very excited probably to do Silverstone.
Yep.
I don't think the Boxster will be fast enough to really get the most out of the track. I think it's really designed a bit like I've never actually driven the Bend at speed, but what I imagine the Bend to be a bit like, that if you don't have sort of 400 horsepower and some aero, you're probably not going to get the most out of the track. Yep. But I think it'd be a bit like that. But just the whole thing of driving Silverstone and being on the same track as the Grand Prix, I think that. And the third, I think, would be Anglesey.
Yeah, right.
Anglesey circuit up in Wales, just because it's, just a beautiful elevation changes, ocean views, the whole works. Yeah, I think that'd be my 3.
Yeah,
so,
fair enough.
And then, of course, Nurburgring and, the European stuff, which is Spa.
Yeah, tell Chantel you're going to take her away for a weekend Spa.
I actually could get away with it because both Spa and the Nurburgring,
they're not that far away.
They're located in No, they're not, but it's also a really pretty part of Germany, and it's just a beautiful part of the world.
Yep.
So if you are taking people who are not into cars there is lots for them to do for half a day or an evening while you go and do 2 or 3 hours of track evening at the Nurburgring. There's a lot that they can do in the area. So I'd totally do that. Incorporate it into a bit of a weekend away or something like that. Definitely
do it.
And then tell her that I've backed the Boxster into a guardrail and we owe the Nurburgring Corporation 30,000 euros and we've got no car to get home in.
Yeah, maybe don't do that bit, but yeah.
Do you think the worst thing about crashing at the Nurburgring would be ending up in a crash compilation video or not ending up in a crash compilation video?
Not ending up. Because if you're going to spend all that money repairing the damage you've done to the ring and not end up in video, yeah. It's actually pretty easy.
I crashed and no one saw it. YouTube didn't know.
It is easy to get caught up in other people's accidents there as well. Like it's like when you do a track day and they don't divide the groups up properly and you're on the slowest car and there's some super fast cars and you're trying to watch out for those people or people who are just maniacs. And, you're seeing them coming in the rearview mirror and you're trying to move out of the way for them. And the next minute you've missed your sort of breaking point. You really do have to have your wit.
I don't know.
Like I did.
It was pretty good when I did it.
Right. Same thing.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know. Like when I did it, I did it in one of those Suzuki Swifts. Which was
I remember that.
Awesome. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it was great. And I don't know, maybe it was just being a young and immature. I don't know, but I never had any moments where I felt scared or nervous. It's just awesome. It was rad. But
busy the track is against as well.
Watch the mirrors move over when someone fast is coming. Dude,
Ghibli. In it too.
Yeah, see Ghibli. And he bins the Ghibli and there's like shooting out the side of a Ghibli.
Yeah.
Speaking of obscure old Italian cars
they're the ones with those fantastic clocks on the dash that are worth more than the car. Yeah.
I know where there's an abandoned one of those in London.
Does it have a clock still?
Yep. And that 3 inches of dust on it.
That can be our wager, Andrew.
A Ghibli clock. The trophy is a Ghibli clock. I think it's a good wager, though.
It is. You know what we haven't done for a long time, especially since you've moved away, is one of our go-kart nights.
I haven't been go-karting for 3 years.
I haven't been.
Last time was probably the last time.
My proper kart. So.
Well, I'm definitely going to go in November because Samuel's turning 9 and he's able to go on the karts at Richmond.
So nice.
This is going to be all of his dad's friends ruining his birthday party, punching each other off and spoiling it for the kids, basically. Isn't it?
Was it Buzz and Ash? Buzz and Ash came when he could be a passenger for the first time when he was 5. So yeah, probably.
This is me trying to race, Samuel. This is me trying to segue and put pressure on Luke to get his historic kart sorted. Well, sorry, Samuel's historic kart sorted.
It's there. It's a good ornament. Works well.
It's like his Alpha Sprint in the background.
Yeah, I've got new tires on mine, so I'm trying to drum up some interest, get some people out. The weather's good. COVID's sort of gone.
It's good, accessible motorsport.
It is. It was $50 to change 2 sets of tires.
What?
Yeah.
That's all they were.
Yep.
That's cheap.
Do Bolivers still do their thing where once you join the club, you get a key to the track and you just 100%. Turn up anytime you like and just go for a drive?
It's in the pocket of this jacket waiting to go.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How that is not more widely known, I don't know, because just, I don't know, it just seems like the best thing in the world. Just turn up and go for a spin. Amazing. Anyway.
You're buying a car when you get back?
I was just about to say, we're all going to finish this podcast and jump straight into classifieds and look at cards for sale.
Do it.
Anyway, boys, it's been real. Do we have anything else we need to cover?
It's sort of motorsport silly season now, isn't it? Now that Le Mans, Bathurst, F1's sort of got a few more before that finishes. Had a few things here.
Yeah, Gorge Rally Sprint. You went
to Gorge Rally Sprint. Yep, that seemed to be.
How was that?
So from all accounts, I was supposed to go, but ended up sick in bed. No one really disgraced themselves too badly in competition. I think a tour car wrote itself off as they tend to do. But
did see those pictures.
Yes, Tim in the IROC Jägermeister car came third. So
brilliant.
They had a pretty good run. Pretty happy with that. The weather held out.
It was a good day that day.
Yeah.
Beautiful day.
So I think everyone's itching now to get into Adelaide Rally. It was pretty much every rally shakedown. Yeah.
Mate, that's going to be such a bad weekend for me. I'm going to be so homesick because we're doing the photography for Adelaide Rally. So I think our workflow is that Luke and a few guys are going to shoot it, and I'm going to do the editing and all the sort of run a bit of the social media side of things from the UK on my own. So while you guys are all together having fun in the sun and doing all that, I'll be sitting in a bloody November winter in the UK staring at my computer screen for 4 days.
If it makes you feel better, Andrew, I'm out this year for it as well. We have a calendar clash at home, so I'll be doing daddy daycare while the beautiful wife does her professional hobby.
Daddy daycare on the side of the rally stage just makes sense. Come on.
Yeah, maybe not this year.
If he doesn't listen too well just yet, a few more years.
Duct taking, cable ties work.
Well, there's always a
Get
lead.
one of those leads.
Yeah.
Have the those Pikachu backpacks with the little lead on it.
Started taking photos. If he nabs your camera, like your camera phone, he starts taking photos. So it's fun lately now to grab your phone and flick through it. And so, yeah, maybe you get some abstract, low-level photos.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
it's all art.
So that one Samuel got a view when he was a young kid was quite good, actually. There was a Port Adelaide sprint.
Yeah.
Sprint?
Remember that?
What
That was
was that?
Brad.
Wow. The
That
Port
rally sprint thing.
sandblasting special stage.
Such a shame. That could have been, like, to run that in the middle of town would have been amazing. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
But
that was a very hot day.
Mm-hmm.
it was a crazy hot day.
Mm.
We should bring back the Wavell ring, though. That was fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Wavell would suit really well a WRC stage.
It would. Because they could do tarmac and dirt. Yeah. And someone could enter a monster truck and run into the old historically listed bit. Oh, no, hang on. Someone's already done that.
Hashtag WRC Adelaide. Who said that? Sorry.
Andrew in
Good
trouble.
times. Good
Admiral in
times.
trouble again.
Actually,
Cool.
the Adelaide. Speaking of the Adelaide Hills Rally, the Adelaide Hills Rally is coming up as well.
It's coming up too.
The
Far away.
the not round of the Australian Rally Championship. So that'd be good.
Yeah. That'd be fantastic. Be a great event. Seems like they've got quite a few entries again, which will be cool. Anyway.
On that bombshell, we probably should
end it up.
Carry on.
Thanks, Zander.
Not a problem.
Zander, thank you, mate. It's good to chat. It's good to catch up.
No, thanks, guys.
I think
That's been fun.
Spend a few hours doing some sim stuff, I reckon.
Pre-qualify for Le Mans.
Yeah, could do.
Sounds delightful. Sounds delightful.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in.
Next Thursday, we'll be on again. Same place, same time.
And we can hear about Andrew's IMS issues.
No. I have full confidence now. Full confidence.
$1,000.
Pounds, mate. Pounds. £1,000. It's a crucial loophole.